controversial subjects with the facts can be tense, but we are a science here to make things make sense.
Lip chap. Oh, I meant to get some. I don't have any. I have some in this house, but
Oh, I got some Burt's Bees in my coat. Love the stuff.
do you? Yeah. So you're like a lip chap fan because
I feel like it was a part of my literal identity as a child.
really?
Yeah. We'll get to it, but lip smackers were like kind of my thing.
So wait, you're lying.
I'm not lying.
You were like known as the lip smack guy.
Well, it's really sad because I never got any. This is me just blaming my parents. If they heard this, they'd be like, "Shut up." I'm like, I never got any candy, but I was definitely allowed Lipsil in this family, and so I sometimes would get like a cookies and cream or and I would eat it. I would literally I was obsessed and I would put it on my lips and lick it and put it on my lips and lick it because I was like, ooh, cookies and cream, like this is candy, this is like what all you can get, Greg, take what you can get. And I would like, and then my parents would be like, well, you ran out real quick, and I'd be like, and everyone was like, wow, he's got lots of lip smacker flavors.
Oh my god, it's like here we were at last episode talking about GHB. It's like you were eating the lip chap, bro. Who knows what that did to your brain?
GHB is really bad, but no, it's really good to eat petroleum jelly. It's like, oh, that might be a bigger issue.
Okay, I'm actually upset right now. In the lip chap episode, it didn't even occur to me to look up the flavored kinds, and I'm like, what is in those, and what happens when you ingest them? Because
okay, well,
obviously, not like
no. A lot of them are made out of
people are licking their lips because it tastes good.
Yeah, a lot of them are made out of palm wax. It's like like it's not a big deal. Like it would be like palm oil. Yeah.
And I guess like beeswax and stuff.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be like, considering the other things we all ingest consciously, like McDonald's. Not that big deal.
Obviously, there'd be studies on this if it was bad for you. But it just freaks me out when it's like
they're like, oh, you got microplastics coming into your eyes from all the Lipsil.
But like, actually, maybe.
Okay, so
don't you think?
No, I don't think.
You don't.
Well, sorry, I don't think, just because I was getting into all the ingredients and none of it's that bad.
Okay, well, I have a little twisteroo at the end of that then that we'll talk about.
Also, me like so biased because I ate it for like 4 years of my life.
Tell us why it's not bad, hun.
Okay, so the skin on your lips. Well, I just was like curious about this, especially in winter. Like, I think, you go through that like in Canada thing where you're like, oh God, it's November, I guess I need Lipsil or something. Yeah. And then it kind of is something you're applying. And I think I know people have talked about how sometimes it feels like it's maybe not helping, or it's like making your lips more dry. And so one thing I thought was fascinating was that your lips, because of the way that they're literally built, they have like a thinner stratum corneum. Like literally the outside of your skin is also like, that too, but it's thinner. It does dry out more quickly than your cheeks, for example. But also in winter, it's your hands that get dry and it's your face that gets dry because that's what's exposed. So it's like there are these elements as to why actually you do need to take care of your lips in the winter. It's like, oh, I never thought about that. They're always
facing the elements. Yeah, versus your hands can be in gloves.
And they said versus your body. They're like, that's why your like
body doesn't dry
your nipples and chest isn't dry, but your hands and face are, because they're actually exposed to the whipping wind.
Yeah, I never thought about that. And actually, it's not like I've never thought about this, but not that I never use lip chap when I'm somewhere in a different climate, like warmer, but I use it a lot in winter when we're here. And even hand like cream, obviously. I don't really use hand cream in the summer. So it's getting
whipped by the
I can't use cream on my face in the summer because I'll get pimples. But in the winter, it's like dry. And I never really thought about how lip chap may even be like culturally influenced in that way. I'm curious if it is for people who come from like warmer climates, if they're less likely to use lip chap.
Well, they're probably, like maybe. That is true.
Because I'm actually using it because my lips
that's fair.
Are in pain in the winter sometimes.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense.
I'm curious. I don't know.
Like half the audience, like our audience in like Colombia is like, what is that?
Oh, the other interesting thing was that I think most people call it lip balm.
Oh yeah, true.
Whenever I'd research lip chap, it would always have like links that just said lip balm.
Also, my family did
lip chap a brand.
My family did the Kleenex thing with Lipsil. When Lipsil's a brand, they'd say, "Where's the Lipsil?"
Yeah,
and I'm like, "That's a brand. That is a brand. That's not what it's called."
But lip chap's not a brand.
But they would say lip chap in these science studies. Some of the ones.
So it must just be like also depend where you're from, where you live.
Yeah, but okay, so there's also no sebaceous gland in your lips to secrete oil too. There's another reason why that's maybe why people would use it in a warmer climate, because regardless of winter,
Your
there's
lips
also
are always going to be more dry than the rest.
yeah, there's not oil like in other parts of your, like we talked about the sweating episode, like the sweating glands. Like you're not like, it would be interesting if we were animals that like secreted like our own lip soul out of like 2 holes above our lips, like into that. But evolution
why
didn't
not?
take us that
Maybe
way.
that's what our snot is for, and everyone's just like wiping it away. It's like, no, it's
Okay, well-
natural lip chap.
Okay, well, that gets to the sort of, to me, lip chap childhood thing, which is that people will get really dry lips because they would lick them. And so that's why they're saying that like there are some, you know, lip chaps you can buy that are going to make it worse. And especially the flavorful ones, because you will lick them. And that
then it's just,
actually...
like, drying them out faster.
Yeah, it creates moisture on your lips, which then gets evaporated, and that's why your lips get dry. That's why sometimes, and I sadly think that like maybe I was one of those kids who like had to be told that and got, you know, like crusty lips. I think I might have been that kid.
Like full crusty lip.
Okay, so I have clearly a relationship to lip chap and like wanted to do this episode. I saw a photo of myself recently on our like Google Home where either, because I'm a messy person, my whole mouth was covered in food. Like it was like my sister smiling at like 12, me smiling at like pretty old. Like I think I was 8 or 9. Yeah, like I think my sister could have been, not 14. Let's say I'm 8. Like food all around my mouth. And I was like, oh my God, I've been like messy and disgusting my whole life. And then I thought for a second, wait, is that dry lips?
Like,
and then
is
it
it
went
just-
away. Like, you know, when people lick their lips so much and then it gets really, really red.
Yeah.
I think it was like, I had this memory of like, was I that kid? And then my parents
So
had to
you
teach
think
me
that-
to not do it. Like licking your lips will cause more evaporation. And here's some lip chap. Maybe that was my first experience. Boom. I've been cured ever since. Do you know who I'm talking about? Like the kids who lick their lips too much? Do you not remember this?
Like, I guess, but
Like you don't remember like the look of like a kid who was like,
that was like a.
I think that happened to me. I literally
But like,
think it
were
was
there
me.
like, is that like a thing? Like everyone has the
well,
kids at
either
their
it's my
schools who lick
own
their lips
crazy
too
memory,
much.
or I also remember being like, Daniel's doing it too, or like at least seeing other people around me and being
I just
aware.
thought part of it was genetics, but yeah, maybe there's. And so you had to be taught not to just like lick your lips. Like someone had to sit you down and go like,
so.
you have a problem.
Like, okay, this is the thing. It's like I can't remember just a shocking photo, and then I was remembered about
This
this idea.
cannot be real.
So I'm like, okay, and maybe I'm in full block denial. That
Like maybe one time your parents were like, oh, his lips are chapped. Like, here's
Yeah.
some lip chap.
I just think when they were chapped, they were like, whoa, they're bleeding.
Okay, that's extreme.
Which is possible. Okay, so that's why you don't lick your lips, because the
I definitely
evaporation
have
of the
my lips
water
bleed.
makes it dry.
Like, but they would crack. Like, but that's often.
Yeah,
for me.
Chap Lip McGee over here.
No, but every now and then I've had that, but it wasn't like even now that could happen. Like, there's just been times when like if it's kind of like, you know, when you wash your hands too much and they start to get like cracks in them.
Yeah.
It's up on my lips. I feel
He was washing his lips too much. Remember we asked, do you wash
washing
your lips?
your lips. Okay, something interesting I learned about this. So obviously most, like you said, are made out of like beeswax. What else did you say they're often made out of?
Well, petroleum jelly.
Petroleum, yeah.
Like as a base, and then like other things.
But the original was first marketed in 1880s. But even before that, they said like 40 years before that, there's records of people using earwax. Isn't that
my
crazy?
God, I'm
so it was like
so into that.
recommended that. I don't know if it would mean you just take your own and rub it on your lips. And I guess it's still like a
I
lot.
love that.
Isn't that messed?
Oh my
but also
God.
hilarious and amazing.
When everything goes belly up and we're in the apocalypse and I'm 80 and
I need
everyone's
lip
like,
chap.
my lips are chapped. I can't wait to like scoop into my nasty ear and be like, put it on your lips.
Oh God, that's gross, Greg.
Honestly, we might just have to do it. I don't think
That's
I think
smart.
that's really cool. Honestly.
Oh, it is cool. It
Yeah.
is. If it, assuming like, I don't know, it wasn't made in like products that way, as far as I know, but that was like a home remedy, probably.
Well, it makes
No?
sense. So like
in the good old 1840s.
Yeah, yeah. Like 1840s is so smelly and nasty, and definitely like earwax on lips makes total sense.
Yeah, they had nothing else.
So oil is actually helpful in certain ways at making your lips less chapped. Specifically, oils that have high occlusivity. So this is like a word that me was Googling all week. And I think if you're into skincare and makeup, you know, like there's people who are so into that.
Yeah, you would know
be
this
like,
is like
oh,
a
I know about
kind
my,
of-
like they know what they call them on like the skincare sites is occlusives. They're like, I know my occlusives. Like it's like I know my products that have
Right.
occlusive properties. And so what it is,
But I feel like occlusive is a word that also means something outside of
It does,
that.
it does. It
It's like
exactly
means to stop or something.
yeah, it's like it's
don't
like
remember,
a
but-
physical movement. It's actually really complicated is what I was trying to figure out.
Okay.
So in this term that we use in the in the beauty community and in this sort of like the studies are all done, you know, like by L'Oreal and stuff like that. So like always a little like grain of salt. They have now co-opted a term that means something else to mean this.
Right. Okay.
Which is essentially increasing the amount of oil on your lips. And one of truly the best things you can do is to just use petroleum jelly out of the jar
I
is
did read
better
that,
than
yeah.
any sort of marketed product.
Right.
Because it's super high in occlusivity. But this study, what it did is it took different lip chaps that had different occlusivity like rates.
Like what they would say they
like
were.
the amount of
or
things that
based on
essentially
the
are like it's like
ingredients?
essentially more oil, like biochemically oily versus like not. And they found that the higher the like occlusive sample was, there was a decrease in wrinkles in the lips. There was like they literally measured the wrinkles in
That's
the
crazy.
lip.
Okay.
And they,
wow.
yeah,
This
it
is
was
cool
like
that you were really fun to study on this.
yeah, no, it was really cool. It was done by a Japanese skincare brand though. So again,
Right. You never know if like the motivations for things to.
yeah, there
sell
was like
products.
20 Japanese females for 4 weeks. They had to apply it morning, twice during the day, and the evening. So they all had to do it for 4 weeks, and the wrinkles decreased. Two of them like noticed because they like had issues before, and it was like they were like it's better.
I'm just laughing, like thinking about the science though, when it is like, I can appreciate when companies fund research, but sometimes you can just picture them being like, oh my God, you look so much more beautiful. Write it down. The product
like,
works.
They're like, oh, chapping was decreased.
Like, a little less wrinkle. Can you tell?
Yeah.
Can you tell?
Oh, well, let's just get out the ruler. See, little smaller
Amazing
wrinkles.
improvement.
it's
Abstract
true.
done.
It was like this one was peer reviewed, but then you start
Okay,
to go,
fair.
who was reviewing it? That's when we have the lobbyists.
Man, this world is messed up.
But what they said, great ones are petroleum jelly, shea butter. That's great.
Gosh, I have to be honest.
Beeswax.
So what is shea butter? Because I just have this like image, like I don't know if I've ever used it, but I'm just like, I've heard that word and I imagine like this literal like buttery margarine material
It
you can
is.
rub on your body. And I'm like, that sounds amazing, but I don't know what shea butter is.
I think it's like from a nut. It's like similar. It looks like similar in consistency.
Just like a cream? Or?
It is. Yeah. Like it's almost like, like,
That looks so fun.
like coconut oil kind of
Yeah.
vibe, like that. It's like
Okay.
that.
But I'm like, that what would be such a nice feeling, and you never really get to do it with a product because you never want to waste too much. When you like take cream and you don't want to put so much that you're wasting all your cream.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking of like body lotions and stuff, how it would be nice. I just picture taking that shea butter.
Yeah. That's so
rubbing
nice.
it in,
Yeah.
but they'd probably be so expensive that you wouldn't want to like.
And
waste
like
so much.
I've definitely done the opposite as like someone who like, oh, I'm like, wow, I have way too much cream on. And then there is a
Oh,
a too
you're
much.
like, ew.
Yeah.
Fair,
You
yeah,
can't
you're
escape
right.
it, and all of a sudden you're like wet.
You can't
Once,
touch
me
anything.
and my sister, oh my God, we were like, oh my God, like let's do this thing where we gave each other hand massages because we were kind of like, we never got to like get massages, and we're like, but what if I do your hand, you do my hand, back and forth like forever? So then like we would take oil and we like did it once, and then my mom like called my sister, and we had this like metal like thing that came out of our wall, which was like a handrail into our steep basement. And she was like, Jill, can you come in? And she was like, yeah. And like got up and ran over and just like grabbed it, and she like wiped out like so hard down the stairs. And I was like, because it was like there was too much shea butter on thine hand. Do you know what I mean? Like there is too much.
That is so like a cartoon.
It was so funny. It was so funny. She like shot down the stairs because like the physics of what she thought she could do.
Oh my God.
But okay.
Was she okay?
Yeah, she was okay. And I wasn't. And that's how we lost her. Imagine me laughing so hard. Okay, so occlusives are beeswax, petroleum jellies, shea butters. Like their point was maybe like have some of that in your pocket. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
necessarily be going
Like the
out.
kind of like main ingredient
Yeah.
is all you're really after. You don't like a lot of lip chaps have all these extra.
Yeah, and they
things in
sell
them.
you on different things. And I think what their point was that if you think about like occlusivity as this thing that they've like branded it as, the highest things are the beeswaxes, and then those companies are selling you beeswax in a certain way with like some other things, blah blah. And they said to stay away from menthol.
Oh, I saw that too.
Yeah, that always comes with like increased dryness.
Yeah. So what I had read is that obviously, but that's put in products for 2 reasons. So menthol like ends up disturbing people's lips. You said, right?
Yeah.
Like
well,
irritating them.
Yeah, they said that it
dries
like lip
them
chap
out.
can be worse for you, and one of the main ways that it would be bad is if it has a peppermint or menthol flavor because of how they use it, the chemicals they use.
Yeah, and then
Salicylic
so
acid.
what I was gonna say is like they put it in there because people actually like those versions more, apparently, like, and because they think it's like feels medicinal.
Yeah.
like when your lips burn, you kind of are like, ooh, that is fresh, or and it
It's
has
like,
a numbing,
no, you're burning.
and it kind of numbing property, so you kind of like get
yeah,
relief
that's so
in the
true.
immediate, even though it's aggravating your lips more.
Yeah, you're right.
But there's something I realize I've done that, and like I have some lip chaps that feel very like neutral to me, and I like those too. But every now and then I get one that kind of burns, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I'm like, I want cookies and
Working.
cream. I want the green ice cream cookies and cream with some menthol.
I love how you went right to like the.
Well, that's what I was
kind.
thinking. I'm like, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
okay,
it's-
of course you were. You used to eat your lip chap. He's like, oh, and a cookies
Okay.
and cream
Okay.
and a little pie on the side.
So can I tell you like my like lip chap like story about this?
Haven't you already?
No, okay, so the thing is like the beginning was not
it the
meant-
one where your sister
no.
died, or was it the one where you ate them all?
That was from hand lotion. No, this was what I was gonna say for later in the podcast, but then for some reason off the top, it just was like brought up like the flavors and how I ate it. I just started talking. Okay, so once like this is actually disgusting. So once I was at a quiet. Okay, I don't even know if I can
tell it.
I can tell it. I don't even know if I can like say it out loud because I'm like thinking about it. And I'm like, I can't believe this is real. Okay, so there was this thing in Toronto called Kiwanis. It was like the number
it wasn't
one.
just Toronto. It was like all of Ontario.
Okay, sorry.
Kiwanis music.
Ontario-wide Kiwanis choir competitions, okay? So this is like a huge choir competition, and I remember like I was in like grade 5 or 6, and like, you know, I'm a gay guy, so like I'm like nailing whatever. Like they're like, we need you. Like they would like send the group of the choir.
You mean
I
like
felt,
the singing?
Like I felt like I was a part of it.
You were like
because guys weren't wanting to do choir. Everyone was like,
Yeah.
faggots in choir. And I was like, well, I don't know. They're saying I'm good. Like, so I'm going to keep going. But like, no one wants to
also
be in choir.
runs in your family though.
Exactly.
Your family loves
My
being
family
in the
loves
choir.
choirs. And to be honest, gorgeous concept.
Yeah, it's nice.
Like I would love to sing
Singing,
together.
yeah.
But our like school was like good. And like there was this teacher who had all their Kiwanis trophies lined up. Like
I
every
hate
year they
this
won.
so much.
So, okay. So then
our school was
no,
good.
it was so good.
I'm freaking picturing Glee, and you guys just be like,
Truly. But you stand still and you sing like, it's like, it's not good like songs. It's truly like,
can be good.
sorry. It's like Greco-Roman, like,
Yeah,
yeah. Like it was never like a catchy tune. So I get to Kiwanis. I have a new lip smacker. I'm picturing oh my God, it's all coming back to me. I'm picturing cookies and cream. I remember this other girl had one of those lip smackers that were so big. Do you remember when like there was the lip smacker that was like the size that we all see? Some people would get a cookies and cream that was like the size of a highlighter.
Oh my God, I do not remember
It was like
that.
they sold them like
you
that.
were part of lip chat
Yeah.
culture.
It was a lip smacker, okay?
Like
and it
I was
called,
doing
like,
Pokemon while this is what
yeah,
you were doing.
I was with the girlies fighting over lipstick. So she pulls out this thing that's like Coca-Cola huge. I'm feeling so giddy. We're at this choir thing. I'm feeling so funny. I'm like,
Have you ever seen one, or is it your first time seeing one?
I think I'm overreacting. I'm like, oh my God, I have cookies and cream. You have cola. And I start being like, oh my God, they're so yummy. And I like eat mine, and then I get a reaction. People are like,
But when you say eat, you put on lips and
no,
lick,
it's all right.
or
I
you
run my
bite?
nail across it and ate it.
No.
Yes. Okay. So then, but I'm joking around, and the girl's like, "Oh my God, that's so funny." And I was like, "I love eating lip smackers." She's like, "I have so much. Do you want like some cola?" And I was like, "Yes." And then people were kind of watching and laughing. So I took her like cola one and was like eating it and like laughing. Put it down. I swear to God, I start to be like, I'm like, singing, like it's like Northleys about to come up, and I literally am starting to like sing in my, it's like, and I'm like, oh my God. I go up, and he's literally like does that thing with like the choir thing, like looking at us like, and then he's like, go, and I'm literally like, and like it's like gurgling, and I was like, So I remember like mouthing and harking down Lip Smacker, and then like near the end of the song, finally being able to be like, and like Jimmy, like I'm there,
and they're like,
like halfway through, but I was like, I'm gonna lose our school's like streak because like my tenor isn't slicing through because I'm like lip chapped and I'm gurgling on the stage.
That is unbelievable.
So hopefully there was some beeswax.
You have a
in there.
deep connection.
Yeah, I do. I truly do. I was not kidding when I said it was part of my culture.
Like almost ruined like your peak moment in choir.
Yeah, in choir. But like, I don't know. I gave up on choir, and it's kind of weird because I'm like a gay guy that likes to sing. I think I was actually bullied out of it.
I would love to be part of a choir, actually. I think singing together is like one of the most beautiful things in the world.
It's also a depressing part of the freaking pandemic.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's going down. Joyous singing together because you're just expelling droplets. And you're kind of like, damn, that's true.
It's so sad. Because obviously to me, like choir singing, like it's outdated. Obviously, like sometimes some songs I find beautiful, but a lot of times I'm like, I can't relate to this music. Sounds like.
I don't like
love
it. Yeah.
But then I realized like that's not like singing together is so magical. Like when you do like musicals or something, or even are in a choir and get to sing a song that people like can feel, or even going to choir or some like event where you get to sing with other bodies. I guess like if you're at a Jacob Collier concert, like you're gonna sing together. It's like that feeling. He like makes the crowd sing.
Oh my god, I love that.
And like he'll give them their harmonies or their beats, and then
and he's starting a cult. I'm kidding.
But I just think
that's
that
so
feeling
cool.
of singing
That's
together
so
is so cool.
smart.
Oh, how does this have to do with lip chap?
Oh, the choir.
Back to the choir is where you
gurgled out of a.
And it just made me think though, like even we were talking about choir music is like not that cool, but
Also, by the way,
choral music is so cool.
we still got first that year. By the way, I forgot to tell you. We still won.
My god. You're
Our Handel's
insufferable.
Messiah was the best one.
You're such a funny person because you are
I'm
like,
obviously kidding.
but you're kind of not because you kind of have been like this in your whole life. I have to drag you so bad.
There are things I want to win. That was fully a joke.
Greg fully pretends he does not care about winning, but the amount of times I've heard through his life where he's like, Mitch, we went to the most crazy camp and Zibbins was my team, and literally it was it was like the Olympics.
Okay, no, you're
and
right.
Zibbins
You're right.
won, and I'm like,
you're right.
yeah, like,
and you're right. And honestly, if the end of that story was that we had lost the Kiwanis thing, it would be so much more scarring for me. Like, I definitely am actually happy we won. You know what I mean? 'Cause now it's a funny joke, whereas I would be like, I did gargle us to failure. But there was just not another school that really stood a chance. So
yeah, there he goes. You are a musical theater kid at heart.
I am. That's what I mean. I'm like, why did I not like do that?
Okay, back to lips.
Okay, so another thing that you can look for in a lip seal is either getting like the things like the shea butter, the beeswax, whatever, is that some people are actually like really sensitive to certain like lip soils and their lips are more sensitive than others. And they said that there's pseudoceramides, which would be labeled on the lip seal as hydroxypropyl bispalmitamide.
Okay.
Sometimes in brackets MEA. So I'm like, because that's like a long word, and I'm sorry, but like honestly, like I can say it one more time. Hydroxypropyl bispalmitamide.
So that's what you actually want in
you want to see, because it's been known to help through one study that I found of against same thing like 4 weeks application.
So that's like a common ingredient you would see on some lip chap.
Yeah, some, and it says it's been known to really help people and have less like chapped lips effect on people who are sensitive.
Okay.
So it was on a study of people who were sensitive, and they said that it's in a lot of them, and it's like the way they ended was like truly stay away. That's where it was like stay away from menthol was part of that study.
Yeah, it is interesting that like we live in such a world where, how do I describe this? Like we've gone through these shifts of probably coming from quote unquote natural products and then realizing like, oh, if we add fragrance, if we add this, we can get all these people in. But now there is a movement back to being like actually having natural products like is probably better for like and natural quote unquote, because obviously people can kind of sometimes spin what is natural and there's like this weird argument.
I find that so
when you're like, oh, like obviously a deodorant or a face wash with no scent and no like minimal compounds probably is going to be less likely to irritate or bother you, but can still accomplish like the same thing.
That's so true. One thing that I've been thinking a lot about is antibiotics and the antibiotic properties of things that sometimes when people are like, oh, there's all natural or like something like that and like roll their eyes at it. It's like, what I think has happened is like truly we have unnatural things, which are antibiotics, or like we've like essentially harnessed things to fight bacteria.
Yeah.
That to me is so fascinating. It is truly a big part of the longevity of humans. And then there's like these other things that are like truly like shea butter or beeswaxes that are natural and through the physical properties and way life has evolved are better, but they're not like, it's like there is this thing we've kind of done with science or unnatural medicines, I guess, where we've like understood enough through biological processes to hijack something. But when we're thinking about like lips being chapped and there's no bacteria involved and there's no pathogens involved, it's like, oh yeah, maybe that thing that we would just like get like from a tree or whatever, like is like, actually working. Yeah. But one thing I'd say on that note is SPF. That is something we have hijacked.
Oh, here comes the PSA.
No, well, this is the thing. Apparently, like lip glosses, like really thick, like beautiful lip glosses could in the sun truly act as like a tiny like magnifying glass and burn your lips.
Oh, because
more.
They're like glossy.
Yes, and also they're so glossy that the evaporation from the sun then dries them. Like the thought of like sort of the beauty lip gloss, they said, can burn your lips, and they're like, if you are sensitive, to look for SPF in your, lip chaps. And I was like, totally, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
but I guess I'm confused about the mechanism. Like, obviously, you burn from like UV light, right?
Yeah.
And so, why would? I'm just wondering, like, does it reflect the light more on your lips?
Well, they were like, this was
chemically burning.
No, it wasn't chemically burning, and this was also not. This was like this was like where I found a study on like a website, a beauty website. So this wasn't a scientific study.
Okay.
They were just saying when they were trying to recommend lip balms and I was learning about occlusives, that's where I found that. They said that lip glosses can actually, they said a mini like magnifying glass. It was like, now that you are actually questioning, I'm like, that isn't really like maybe fair, but what they're saying is that there's no protection and you're adding a liquid that
makes
evaporates.
sense that like SPF might be a better solution to a lip problem. Maybe even that, not that these glossy lip chaps are making it worse, but if you're not putting SPF on, you're probably gonna have more dry lips in the first
but also
place.
like I think they also were talking about evaporation. Like the thing about like petroleum jelly is I don't think it doesn't evaporate in the same way that some of the other like lip glosses do, which are like glycerol and like things that are like actually there might even be water in them. There probably is water in them. That's kind of interesting.
Sometimes I feel like I have one that says there's like SPF in it, but I find I'm a little bit particular about like the thickness of my lip chap. Like I don't like it's like very wet, gets on, and then sometimes I go to the mirror and see like so much gloss beside my lips. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly. Okay, also like,
where you're like, did that what?
The petroleum jelly thing I'm just thinking is so cross country skier culture, which is like as like a white person, and the amount of like 65-year-old men that like ski by and are like, hey there, and I look at their lips and they have like clearly, you know what I mean? So practically applied that thing and so don't give a shit that they look so weird. Because I know what you mean. Like when there's too much, I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, it's like a 5-year-old like putting.
Yeah,
it on.
or
like
me, like me as a kid with my issues.
You have to color in the lines.
Yeah.
Like beside.
But they're on. But obviously they know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's like that's the practical use. Yeah. Where you're like actually. If you are sore outside your lips, you should use, if it's dry there too, I'm sure you can.
And it's true, like cross country skiing is so fun. And when you're going downhill, you're whipping your face. Like the amount of times I've come in and been like busted. Like it's like if I had actually just covered my face in oil, that would have helped so much.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like the right thing to do, but like it is.
But I'm sure to a degree you could clog your pores and stuff, right? If you just had.
And they're putting it just on their lips where you actually couldn't because there's no oil sebaceous glands there.
Yeah. The other advice that I came across, keep them nice and healthy, was to drink more water. Was the main one. It was like you're actually probably dehydrated and like more likely to be dehydrated in the winter and the drier climates.
True.
So that's why that was like number one. Also, weirdly, I saw flaky lips. They were like exfoliate them with sugar. Sugar as a humectant, which means it helps retain moisture.
Sugar?
I don't know where I got this from.
Because I'm like, that's my lip smackers. That's the stuff I was eating. You're telling me it was good? Because I'm pretty sure it was not helping me.
No, but this is for an exfoliate.
Oh.
Like flaky lips. To exfoliate.
Oh, if I had the flaky
Yeah.
yeah, which I probably did.
Not to just go rub your lips with sugar, but I don't know.
That is really funny though. Like, you're right. Like, I see what you mean. Like the big sugar grains, not like the
Yeah,
little,
like to scratch them into your lips.
Sugar put into my Coca-Cola flavored dream creamsicle lip smacker.
Yeah.
Okay. We managed to get it to enough time.
Yeah.
We were worried. We're like, this is gonna
Lip
last.
chap.
Everyone's like, okay, well, Greg has a lip chap issue.
Yeah, we need to talk more about that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening. Hope you learned a lot about lip chap, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.
Peace.